May natanggal po ba bago matapos? Yes. You know, some contract ended abruptly. Some contract ended after a year. But like I said, guys, the reappointment is yearly. So it is a prerogative of your school principal if they're going to take you in again for the new school year or not. Also, if something happened within the school year, they can also terminate the contracts. The visa sponsor can also cancel the visa. It has happened already before. As for me, I worked in the US under J1 for 5 years. So J1 visa is for 3 years, but you can work there up to 5 years. So how come you can work in the US with an expired visa? Well, they're going to give you a new DS 2019. DS 2019 is kind of like the work permit, okay? So even if your J1 visa is already expired, since you have a new work permit, that's a DS 2019, you can continue to work in the US, but you cannot leave the US anymore because you won't be able to go back, okay? So always do your best because yearly you want to be reappointed. Having the J1 visa that is for 3 years is not a guarantee that you will have a new contract for 3 years. If the principal did not like your performance, they may not recommend you for reappointment. Okay, what is a possible reason for firing not just Filipino, any foreign teachers, any teacher for that matter? Firing, so meaning your contract will be terminated by the school, right, by the district. So one, if you have any, let us say, performance related, they found that you're not competent, you're having a hard time. Okay, I talked about it before, you know, reasons why teachers' contract can be terminated prematurely, or reasons why J1 visa can be canceled within the school year. If the teacher has been involved in criminal case, for instance, the teacher has been involved in a car crash due to driving under the influence, your visa will be canceled. Next, if you have a case with the students, it's a criminal case, obviously your visa will be canceled. You will even be jailed in the US. Some principals, obviously, you know what, for the same reason that Filipino principals, your principal in your home country might not rehire you. So basically, it's usually about incompetence. It could be, mostly the incompetence is on the classroom management side. It's not really the content, you know, because you're trained to teach those content. But really the challenge is mostly on classroom management. Because if the teacher could not manage the class, no learning will take place, and it will affect the test scores of the students. And the test scores of the students there matter, okay? Because the public schools there are graded each year. So the school can be graded A, B, C, or D, or fail, depending on graduation rate, depending on test scores on state exams, depending on the proficiency of the children in reading, in mathematics, in science, those things. Is there a support system for teachers in US to avoid getting terminated? Support system. Okay, so the admins there, they have obviously, like, they will give you a coach or a mentor, right? But like I said before, if they're, you know, assessing the teacher and it's taking a while for the teacher to adjust, right? Because it's mostly a problem with adjustment, of being acclimated. Because if the teacher's having a hard time and that is affecting the work of the teacher, therefore the teacher has become a liability, right? I know that's a harsh word, but that's the reality. A teacher is hired to fill in a gap, you know, like a position. They lost a teacher and someone must fill in so that the students will have a competent teacher with them, right? But if the teacher is having a hard time, struggling, So it's affecting their work. Let us say the teacher is, incurring a lot of absences because they're not well, they don't want to go to work, or being tardy, not performing well, then obviously the principal would not like you to continue to work with them. Because these principals, these admins, they already have a lot on their plates, right? So their focus should be on the students and not on the teacher. So if the teacher they hired is another burden to them, obviously they don't want the teacher back. They want a teacher who can do the job right away. But obviously during your first few months, they understand that you are still acclimating, that you are still adjusting. But as a teacher, as a professional teacher, obviously you also have to do something on your part. Okay? Do not just complain about the hardships that you are experiencing without first doing something about the problems you have in class. Okay? Have you done measures in order to help you solve the problems in your classroom? Is it a problem with difficult students? Have you talked to the parents? Have you applied the school rules? Have you been implementing the procedures, right, and the consequences? If you're just complaining and you're not doing anything, and the admin is not seeing that you are really doing your best and you have tried everything you could, then it's also for the good of the teacher. Maybe the teacher is having such a hard time. Maybe she needs to rest, right? So yeah, it's normal if the teacher has become a burden because the teacher is not able to adjust. Then obviously the principal would not want the teacher back in their school. They would find someone who can do the job. Some admin may be more patient than the others, but not all administrators in the US will be patient to wait for like 2 years. It's been a year and you still struggle. Maybe they will just keep you for 3 years, but they will not give you the extension. Teachers, you might think that I'm, harsh with the words that I'm using, but I also want you to know the reality. So you are a professional. As a teacher, you are the leader in the classroom. If the students are running the class, you're not the one running it. Maybe you have to assess yourself too. Okay? That's why teachers, please watch videos, listen to the stories of other teachers about the realities that you will be facing with when you go to the US, to adjust your expectations, to make all the preparations that you can do while you are still in your home country. Because really, classroom management there is the most challenging part. Okay?